mechanisms," she said quietly. "They are the heartbeats of this town, the vessels of the curse's energy. Align them, and you align your will with the flow of time itself." Henrik entered next, his expression a mixture of skepticism and newfound hope. "I've seen the clocks throughout the town falter and stutter," he admitted, "but there's a change something in the rhythm, as if the curse senses this defiance." Alaric followed, his soot-stained hands deftly adjusting the gears of a nearby mantle clock. "We'll need to work quickly," he said, "before the curse regains strength. The town's fate and yours depends on this." Together, they moved through the workshop, each person playing a vital role in the intricate dance of mechanics and magic. Alara's heart pounded in time with the ticking clocks, a steady drumbeat of hope and fear intertwined. The weight of their task pressed upon her, but within that pressure lay a fierce determination, one born of love and sacrifice. Later, atop the town's highest rooftop, Ilara and Lucian stood side by side, the cool autumn breeze teasing the edges of their clothing. The sky above was a canvas of amber and gold, the eternal autumn casting its melancholic beauty across the horizon. Their hands found each other's, fingers intertwining with a grip that spoke of unyielding resolve. "No matter what happens," Lucian whispered, his voice barely audible above the distant ticking that now felt like a promise rather than a curse, "we face this together." Lara smiled, her eyes shining with a mixture of hope and sorrow. "Together," she agreed. As the clocks throughout the town began to tick in harmonious rhythm, the very air seemed charged with a new energy. The curse, once an unyielding force, now trembled in the face of their unity. The turning tide was upon them, and with it came the fragile possibility of freedom, love, and a new rhythm to life itself. But the road ahead was uncertain, and the shadows of the past still loomed large. Alara and Lucian would need to summon every ounce of courage and trust to see their journey through to its end. The ticking of the clocks was no longer just a measure of time, it was the heartbeat of their fight, their love, and the promise of a dawn beyond the eternal autumn. The wind stirred the amber leaves beneath their feet, swirling in a dance that mirrored the storm within their hearts. And as the first star blinked awake in the twilight sky, Ilara took a deep breath, ready to face whatever the coming days would bring. For in the ticking of the clocks, in the unyielding grip of their joined hands, lay the hope of breaking the cycle and the beginning of a new rhythm. The turning tide was here, and with it, the chance to rewrite the story written in the shadows of time. The dim glow of candlelight flickered across the worn surfaces of the clockmaker's workshop, shadows dancing like phantoms summoned by the faint breath of wind slipping through the cracked window panes. Alara stood at the center of the room, her heart pounding in tandem with the relentless ticking that filled the air, a chorus of timepieces woven into a living heartbeat of the town itself. Around her, countless clocks lined the walls, their faces frozen in various moments, as if capturing fragments of time scattered across generations. Lucian stood beside her, pale skin luminous in the candlelight, his striking blue eyes reflecting a mixture of hope and apprehension. In his hand, the silver pocket watch, the very heart of the curse, rested steadily, its ceaseless ticking now a metronome to their shared fate. Mara's voice, soft but resolute, broke the heavy silence. "This is the moment the curse must be confronted. The essence of time itself will bend to your will, but it demands a sacrifice born of true love and unwavering courage." Alara swallowed the lump in her throat, the weight of every choice she had ever made pressing down upon her. "I'm ready," she whispered, her voice trembling but firm. "For us, for Lucian, for this town." Lucian squeezed her hand gently, his gaze steady and filled with a devotion that had only deepened since the day they met in this autumn-locked world. "Together, Alara, we face this as one." The ritual began with Mara guiding them through the ancient incantations, words spoken in a language both foreign and hauntingly familiar, like echoes from a forgotten dream. Enric and Alaric stood nearby, silent sentinels, watching over the fragile moment, their faces etched with a mix of skepticism and hope. The air thickened, charged with an unseen energy that hummed beneath their skin, intertwining with the rhythmic ticking that swelled into a crescendo. Outside, the town responded in kind. The eternal autumn, long a prison of golden leaves caught in endless descent, stirred with newfound vitality. Winds swirled in sudden gusts, lifting leaves into a wild, swirling dance that painted the sky with shimmering hues of amber and rust. The townsfolk emerged cautiously from their homes, eyes wide with wonder and disbelief, as the very fabric of their existence seemed to tremble on the edge of transformation. Back inside, Elara and Lucian stood firm, their hands clasped as they spoke vows not just of love, but of sacrifice. "If this is to be our end," Elara declared, "then let it be one forged by the strength of our hearts, not the chains of time." Lucian's voice was a steady anchor amidst the storm. "I choose you, Elara, beyond time, beyond fear." The silver pocket watch pulsed in Lucian's palm, each tick a heartbeat that bound them irrevocably. As the final words of the ritual echoed through the workshop, a sudden hush fell. The ticking stopped, hanging suspended like a held breath, the silence a tangible force pressing against their chests. Then, one by one, the clocks began to tick anew, softer, gentler, more harmonious, like a symphony finally finding its true tempo. The curse's grip loosened, and with it, the oppressive stillness that had held the town captive for so long. A gentle warmth seeped into the air, the first tender rays of a changing season brushing the edges of the world. Elara exhaled, tears pricking her eyes as a fragile hope blossomed within her. Lucian pulled her close, their embrace a promise that transcended the confines of mortal time. Yet even in this moment of triumph, a shadow lingered. The true cost of breaking the curse was yet unknown, and the future, a tapestry unwoven, waited patiently for their next step. As the leaves settled from their wild dance and the town breathed anew, Elara's gaze met Lucian's. "Whatever comes," she whispered, "we face it together." And in the steady ticking that now filled the night, a new rhythm began, a heartbeat of hope, of love enduring beyond the bounds of time itself. The chapter closed with the lingering question, had they truly broken free? Or was this only the beginning of a deeper journey, one that would test the limits of their bond and the power of their love? The eternal autumn swirled one last time outside, leaves glowing like embers in the fading light, a silent herald of the transformation yet to come. The first breath of wind came softly, stirring the golden leaves that had lain still for countless years beneath the amber skies of the town. Elara stood beside Lucian at the edge of the town square, their fingers intertwined, watching as a single leaf lifted and danced on the breeze before swirling down to settle on the cobblestones. The air smelled faintly of earth and rain, a scent long absent from the perpetual autumn that had held the town captive. This subtle shift, though gentle, echoed as a profound promise, the curse that had bound Lucian and the town was loosening its grip. Elara's heart fluttered with cautious hope. The heavy weight of years spent in stasis, both in time and in spirit, felt as if it might finally begin to lift. She glanced at Lucian, whose striking blue eyes held a spark of something new, a quiet wonder mingled with relief. "Do you feel it?" she asked softly. Lucian nodded, his gaze fixed on the swirling leaves. "A change," he murmured. "The town breathes again." Their journey to this moment had been fraught with pain and sacrifice. The choice Elara had made to remain, to bind herself to Lucian and the curse, had not come without cost. Yet now, in the aftermath of their decision and the breaking of the cycle, the town's timelessness began to wane. Slowly, imperceptibly, life crept back into places long frozen. The town itself seemed to awaken. In Mara's apothecary, the familiar scents of lavender and sage filled the air, wrapping around Elara like a warm embrace. Mara sat behind the counter, her silver hair catching the soft light as she offered a gentle smile. "The curse is loosening," she said, her voice steady but tinged with wariness. "But healing takes time. You too will need all your strength to face what comes next." Alara absorbed Mara's words, feeling both gratitude and a stirring apprehension. The road ahead was uncharted, the future uncertain. Yet for the first time in a long time, she dared to believe in possibility. Henrik moved through the streets, his steps measured as he observed the subtle transformations around him. The townsfolk, once guarded and somber, now exchanged tentative glances and whispered hopes. A flower bloomed at a windowsill, a clock struck the hour with clear resonance, and laughter soft and tentative floated on the breeze. Henrik's usual skepticism softened, replaced by a reluctant optimism. He knew the town's secrets intimately, but even he could not deny the profound shift unfolding. In the workshop, Lucian and Alaric bent over a clock whose gears had long been silent. Their hands worked in tandem, steady and sure, as they coaxed life back into the intricate mechanism. The rhythmic ticking that resumed was more than the movement of a machine. It was the heartbeat of the town's fragile restoration. Lucian's pale skin glowed faintly in the lamplight, a reflection of the hope rekindled within. Alara joined them, her presence a quiet anchor amid the flurry of activity. Together, they represented not just a couple bound by love and curse, but a community poised on the cusp of transformation. Yet amid the renewal, shadows lingered. Memories of the past, betrayals, sacrifices, lost years weighed heavily on Alara's mind. Could their love endure beyond the curse's fading magic? Would Lucian's eternal youth become a relic of a broken past, or could they forge a new path where time moved forward together? The town's first true night in decades was pierced by a chorus of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. Alara and Lucian walked beneath the star-studded sky, the chill in the air tempered by their closeness. "Whatever comes," Lucian said, "I want to face it with you." Alara smiled, her green eyes shining with tears and resolve. Together, she whispered, "Always." As the town slept, cradled in the gentle rhythms of a world reclaiming its seasons, the ticking clocks settled into a new cadence, a rhythm of hope, resilience, and enduring love. The aftermath was not an end, but a beginning, where past and future intertwined in the quiet promise of what could be. And as dawn approached, a single leaf floated down to rest on the windowsill, a silent testament to the power of time's passage and the hearts that dared to beat beyond it. But even as the light grew, questions remained: how would the town, its people, and the lovers themselves navigate the delicate balance between freedom and fate, between love's sacrifice and its reward? The future awaited, uncertain yet luminous, beckoning with the promise of a new rhythm to which all must learn to dance. The first snowflakes drifted silently from a leaden sky, falling gently upon the cobblestones of the town square like whispered promises of change. Alara tightened her grip on Lucian's hand, feeling the warmth of his skin contrast with the chill that had begun to weave through the air. The golden hues of the eternal autumn, which had clung stubbornly like a faded tapestry, were finally giving way to the delicate white blanket of early winter. It was as if the town itself was breathing a sigh of relief, stepping tentatively into a new season and a new life. Lucian's eyes, striking and timeless blue, reflected the soft swirl of snowflakes as they danced between the fading amber leaves. His silver pocket watch, once the ceaseless heartbeat of the curse, now lay silent in his coat pocket, its ticking finally stilled. For the first time in years, the relentless march of time felt gentle, almost forgiving. They strolled through the market square, where merchants had begun to replace their autumnal goods with bundles of firewood and fragrant winter herbs. The scent of pine and burning wood mingled with the crisp cold, filling the air with a sense of comfort and anticipation. Alara's dark hair was dusted with snow, her green eyes alight with emotions she could scarcely name: hope, wonder, and a tentative joy that had once seemed impossible. "It's beautiful," she whispered, breaking the silence between them. Lucian smiled, a rare softness in his youthful face. "It is a new beginning." As they passed beneath the ancient clock tower, its hands no longer frozen but slowly turning with measured grace, Alara felt a profound shift within herself. The curse that had bound Lucian and their love for so long was lifting, not without cost, but with the promise of renewal. The town's eternal autumn was ending, and with it, the weight of endless longing and frozen time. Later that afternoon they found themselves in Mara's apothecary, a haven of warmth and earth-scented candles. Mara, her silver hair pulled back and her eyes gleaming with quiet wisdom, wrapped Alara's hands in soft woolen mittens. "Change is never easy," she said softly, "but it is the only way forward. Embrace it, for even the deepest roots must bend with the wind to survive." Alara nodded, feeling the truth of Mara's words settle like a bomb over her restless heart. Here, in this small shop, filled with ancient remedies and whispered histories, she found the courage to face the unknown. Word of the shifting seasons had begun to ripple through the town. Enric, the steadfast magistrate, stood by the frozen pond's edge, watching children skate and laugh across the ice. His usual stern demeanor softened as he exchanged a brief, understanding glance with Lucian. In that silent exchange lay a shared commitment to protect the fragile peace that the lifting curse had made possible. Meanwhile, in the warmth of Alaric's workshop, the rhythmic tapping of his hammer echoed like a heartbeat of renewal. The local craftsman shaped delicate wooden gears and clock faces, breathing new life into the town's timepieces. Alara and Lucian watched as hope took tangible form in the wood shavings and precise movements. Each strike was a quiet declaration that the past's shadows were not the end, but a prelude to healing. As night fell, the town was bathed in the soft glow of lanterns and the sparkle of frost. Alara and Lucian stood beneath the stars, their breath mingling in the cold air, their hearts beating in a new rhythm. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges they could not yet foresee, but it was theirs to shape together. "Whatever comes," Lucian said, "we face it side by side." Alara smiled, the weight of fear lifting from her shoulders. "Together." And as the wind whispered through the bare branches, carrying the scent of snow and promise, the ticking clocks of the town found their gentle rhythm, at last a rhythm of hope, transformation, and timeless love. But even as they embraced this new beginning, a flicker of unease stirred deep within Alara's heart. Change was a tender thing, and sometimes, the past had a way of reaching back when least expected. What new trials awaited them beyond the veil of winter's first snow? The answer lay somewhere in the quiet shadows of the night, waiting to unfold with the coming dawn. For now, though, the town breathed easy, and two souls, once bound by cursed time, stepped forward into a future luminous with possibility. The soft glow of early evening filtered through the amber leaves, casting long shadows over the quaint workshop where Lucian and Alara sat side by side. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and the faint metallic tang of countless timepieces, each one a silent witness to the passage of moments or the lack thereof. Between them lay the silver pocket watch, its surface dulled slightly by years of ceaseless tickings and the weight of a curse neither had fully dared to confront until now. Lucian's hand was steady as he held the watch, his striking blue eyes fixed on the tiny second hand that had never once faltered since the day the curse took hold. Alara's green eyes mirrored a spectrum of emotions: hope, fear, love, and the quiet despair born of 1,000 unspoken questions. The room seemed to hold its breath. "Do you feel it?" Lucian whispered, his voice barely above the gentle hum of the other clocks around them. Alara nodded, her fingers brushing lightly against his. "It's like time itself is waiting." The words hung in the air, fragile as the falling leaves outside the window. They had come so far from uncertain strangers drawn together by fate and shadowed mystery, to partners bound by a love that defied the very essence of time. The curse that had imprisoned Lucian in eternal youth, the never-ending autumn that had cloaked the town in golden melancholy, all had led to this singular moment. Outside, the rustle of leaves whispered through the streets, the familiar golden hues beginning to soften as the first delicate snowflakes of early winter wove silently down from the steel-gray sky. The eternal autumn was yielding, the town itself awakening to change. Lucian exhaled slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing. "It's time," he said simply. Alara's heart pounded, each beat in sync with the faint ticking that still echoed from the watch. Then, as if summoned by their shared resolve, the second hand gave a hesitant shudder, a subtle pause that stretched into an eternal silence. The ticking stopped. For a heartbeat, the world held still, the silence louder than any noise they had ever known. Then a quiet peace settled over the room, warm and profound. "It's over," Alara breathed, tears pricking the corners of her eyes. "The curse, it's broken," Lucian smiled, a bittersweet curve of lips that held both relief and sorrow. "Yes, but not without cost. We have carried so much sacrifice, loss, hope." She reached for his hand, clasping it firmly, "and love, always love." They spoke then of everything, the years trapped in limbo, the painful choices, the moments of joy and despair woven together like the intricate gears of a clock. Their voices were low and steady, weaving memories into a tapestry that honored their journey. Outside, the snow began to blanket the streets, softening the edges of the town and heralding the close of an era. Alara looked out the window, watching as the world transformed, the cycle of seasons resuming its natural rhythm. She felt the bittersweet longing within her shift, melting into a quiet acceptance. "What will we do now?" she asked. Lucian turned to her, eyes shining with a new light. "We love. We find our own time beyond curses and clocks." Together, they rose and stepped outside into the crisp air, the snowflakes kissing their cheeks like whispered promises. The town, once frozen in eternal autumn, breathed anew around them. The ticking clocks in the distance marked not a curse, but a cadence of life reborn. As they walked hand in hand beneath the unfolding sky, the last tick of the silver pocket watch echoed faintly in their hearts, an echo of a past overcome, a love eternal and a future unwritten. And with that final tick, a new rhythm began. The air was crisp, sharper than it had been for years, carrying with it a promise of change that even the oldest residents of the town could scarcely believe. As Alara stepped lightly onto the cobblestone paths of the central square, a light dusting of snow began to fall, each flake catching the fading golden light and sparkling like tiny diamonds. The eternal autumn, once a blanket of endless amber and rust, was finally giving way to winter's gentle embrace. She glanced sideways at Lucian, whose timeless blue eyes reflected the same quiet wonder she felt stirring deep within her chest. They walked hand in hand, their steps slow and deliberate, as if savoring every moment of this new world they had helped to usher in. The air was filled with the soft crunch of frost underfoot, and the faint melody of restored clocks chiming in the distance, a sound that had been missing for so long, yet now returned with a clarity that stirred something ancient and profound. The curse that had bound Lucian and the town in a timeless autumn was breaking, and with it, a new chapter was beginning. Alara's dark hair fluttered in the cold breeze, her amber shawl wrapping her in warmth and comfort. She had come so far from the frightened woman who once sought refuge here, carrying the weight of betrayal and loss. Now she was a symbol of hope and resilience, her love for Lucian a beacon that had pierced through the shadows of time itself. Lucian, ever gentle and loyal, smiled softly, his pale skin glowing faintly against the twilight. The years that had once stood still around him were now flowing forward, and though the curse's remnants lingered in their memories, the future they faced together was uncharted and alive. Meanwhile, within the cozy confines of Mara's apothecary, the flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows upon the walls lined with ancient tums and carefully arranged herbs. Mara sat across from Henrik, their conversation hushed but filled with a deep sense of satisfaction. "The town is breathing again," Mara said, her silver hair catching the candlelight like strands of moonbeam. "The curse's grip has loosened, and the cycles of nature return." Henrik nodded, his usual stern demeanor softened by the warmth of the moment. "It is a new era," he replied, "one born of sacrifice and enduring love." Outside, the townsfolk gathered in the square, their voices a low murmur of awe and reverence. Stories of Alara and Lucian's love had blossomed into legend, whispered among the people like a sacred secret. Children listened wide-eyed as elders recounted the tale of the clockmaker's son and the brave woman who stayed despite the cost. The rustling of newly fallen leaves mingled with the gentle chimes of clocks, weaving a tapestry of sound that spoke of healing and renewal. As twilight deepened, painting the sky in shades of violet and rose, Alara and Lucian found themselves beside the ancient clock tower at the heart of the town. The tower, once frozen in time, now moved steadily, its hands ticking with a newfound rhythm that echoed the beating of their hearts. They stood in silence, wrapped in the shared knowledge that their love had not only transformed their own lives, but had rekindled the spirit of an entire community. "It's beautiful," Alara whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Lucian squeezed her hand gently, his timeless gaze locked with hers. "Because it's ours," he replied. "Because we chose to love beyond time." The moment stretched, bittersweet and triumphant, as night settled softly over the town. The echoes of their love story would linger long after the clocks had settled into their steady beat, inspiring generations to come. In the quiet that followed, the town took its first breath of true time in a century, and Alara and Lucian stepped forward into a future unbound by curse or fear. Yet, even as the seasons promised change, the memory of eternal autumn, the golden leaves, the ticking hearts, the sacrifice would forever remain a part of their story. It was not an end but a transformation, a new rhythm born from the delicate balance of love and time. And as the first stars appeared overhead, twinkling like the countless moments they had shared, Alara smiled, knowing that some loves truly are timeless. But as the night deepened, a subtle whisper seemed to linger in the breeze, a gentle reminder that time, in all its mystery, was never truly still. And so, their story continued, carried forward on the wind, a melody of hope, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human heart. The first hints of dawn painted the sky in soft washes of pink and amber as Alara and Lucian stepped out from the quiet confines of Mara's apothecary. The air was crisp but carried a subtle warmth, a gentle promise that whispered of change. Around them, the town that had long been draped in the melancholic hues of eternal autumn was stirring with newfound life. The once golden leaves, which had carpeted every street and shaded every corner, were slowly giving way to tender green shoots pushing through the earth, a delicate herald of spring's approach. Alara's hand found Lucian's, their fingers intertwining with a familiarity that spoke of battles fought and won, of sacrifices endured and love that had refused to be extinguished. Lucian's blue eyes, once shadowed with wistfulness and the burden of endless time, now sparkled with a quiet joy that seemed to echo the gentle rhythm of the town's new heartbeat. "It feels different," Alara murmured, her gaze sweeping the familiar streets transformed by subtle yet unmistakable signs of renewal. "Like the town itself is breathing again." Lucian smiled, the silver pocket watch tucked into his palm, no longer ticking with the relentless urgency it once had. "The curse is loosening its grip. The timepieces that echoed our pain now sing a softer song." Their walk through the town square was accompanied by the harmonious mingling of restored clock chimes and the sweet melodies of returning birdsong. The market buzzed gently with life. Stalls adorned with vibrant blooms and fresh produce invited the townsfolk into a season of hope. Faces once marked by the weight of endless autumn now glowed with anticipation for what lay ahead. Mara awaited them within her apothecary, the warm sunlight filtering through the windows casting a golden glow on shelves laden with blooming herbs and fragrant flowers. Her silver hair, once tied back in practical earth-toned shawls, now shimmered with the soft hues of spring pastels. Her eyes held the wisdom of ages, but today they gleamed with quiet satisfaction. "You both carry the light the town has been waiting for," Mara said softly, her voice a balm for weary souls. "The cycle of time is shifting, and with it, the hearts bound by its chains find freedom. Alara felt a swell of gratitude and peace as Mara's words settled around her like a gentle embrace. The journey had been long and fraught with heartache, but here, in this moment, all the pain seemed to ripple into the promise of new beginnings. Outside, Henrik stood at the edge of the square, observing the subtle transformation with a guarded yet genuine smile. The magistrate, often stern and skeptical, now carried an air of reflective acceptance. His eyes softened as he watched Alara and Lucian move through the crowd, their presence a living testament to the power of love and resilience. "You've brought something precious back to this town," Henrik admitted when Alara approached. "Not just hope, but a chance for us all to heal." The evening unfolded with a quiet celebration of life resumed. Children's laughter echoed through the streets, mingling with the soft rustle of new leaves and the gentle murmur of conversations unburdened by fear. Lucian's silver pocket watch, the symbol of their entwined fate, finally stilled in his hand. A delicate chime resonated through the air, a sound that seemed to carry the weight of every moment they had shared, the joys, the sorrows, the sacrifices. Alara rested her head against Lucian's shoulder as the last light of twilight faded into a star-speckled night. The bittersweet longing that had defined their love transformed into peaceful acceptance, a melody of hope that would echo through the town's renewed seasons. "What comes next?" Alara whispered, her voice carrying a mixture of wonder and anticipation. Lucian tightened his hold on her hand, his timeless eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities ahead. "Whatever time brings, we face it together, free, bound not by curses, but by a love that transcends even the ticking of clocks." And as the town breathed in the gentle rhythm of a new season, Alara and Lucian stepped forward into a future unmeasured by time, where every heartbeat was a testament to love's enduring power. The gentle pulse of the clocks, no longer a reminder of sorrow but of renewal, blended seamlessly with the soft whisper of the breeze. The eternal autumn had finally given way to spring's embrace, and with it, a new rhythm, one of hope, transformation, and timeless love had begun.